Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Aghan Timirandasya. Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurin Militam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Reading from the Srimad Bhagavatam with commentary by Srila Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur. We're on chapter 1. The sages are inquiring from Suta Goswami. They said, we're not fully satisfied. We want to hear more about the Lord. So they continue here in verse 20. The Supreme Lord, Keshava, whose intentions remain concealed because he is deceptive to mankind, performed many pastimes with Balaram. Commentary. This verse clarifies the activities of the Lord. Though Krishna's actions are human, because he is Brahman in human form, his actions like lifting of the Govardhan hill surpasses the actions of human. So he may appear to be human, but his actions naturally transcend that which the human or mankind could perform. Those actions are impossible for other living beings of that time. Thus his actions are described as beyond human. He appears to be human, but he is beyond human. But the Lord is hidden, Gudha. The reason is given. He is deceptive to the human beings. He is deceptive to materialistic persons, such as Jarasandha, by disguising himself as a Brahmana to make a request in order to help his devotees. He is deceptive with the spiritual devotees, the gopis, who are attracted to the sound of his flute by giving them instructions on the proper conduct of women in order to increase their manifestation of praying, that you should go while you're here in the dead of night. Krishna was chastising them. So this is all part of Krishna's nature. He may appear to be deceptive in some ways, but it is simply to increase the nature of that lila and the relationship which he has with the person he is executing that with. So with the gopis, it was only to increase the manifestation of prem in them. And as far as like Jarasandha disguising himself as a Brahmana, it was in order to help his devotees. Since the bewilderment of demons is due to their material ignorance, and the bewilderment of the devotees, like the gopis, is because of their prem, the Lord does not actually cheat anyone. He's just acting in accordance with their relationship. He conceals himself in order to give instructions. The formation of Kapata Manushaha is describing how Krishna is acting like a human, but he is beyond human. And therefore, that compound of Manusha Kapata, deceptive to men, but in a way that benefits mankind. He is always engaged in actions which are beneficial to others, never to exploit. That's the difference between God and man. Man may perform an action in a deceptive way to benefit himself. Krishna never acts in a way simply to benefit himself. He acts to benefit his devotee or even the demons that he's interacting with. 21. Knowing, the sages are saying, knowing that the age of Kali has arrived, taking the opportunity, we have now seated ourselves at this place of Naimisharanya, which is most sacred to Vishnu, on the pretext of a prolonged sacrifice in order to hear about the Lord. So the sages know that Kali Yuga has arrived. Kali Yuga began when Krishna left this world. It's like the sun has set. And so they're wondering, now where will the sun rise, or how will the sun rise? And we come to learn that it rises in the form of this Bhagavatam to give light to mankind. But when Krishna left the planet became overcome with negative qualities. And that is the beginning of the Kali Yuga. So they say here that we have understood that Kali has arrived, and we're taking an opportunity now to seat ourselves at this sacred place, which is dear to Lord Vishnu. And we want to hear the narrations of the Lord. We've allotted 1,000 years, but as long as it will take, we don't mind. We'll sit here and continually listen to the Lord's activities. So they're very eager to hear. And Suta will become, by hearing their expressions, eager to speak also. So the whole Bhagavatam is based upon the enthusiasm of the sages of Naimisharanya to hear more about Krishna, and the enthusiasm of Suta to express that. The commentary says, well, it is indeed surprising that persons such as you, who were originally absorbed in ritualistic sacrifices, have now become enthused for hearing about the glories of Krishna. We were discussing this at the beginning of our beginning of this chapter 1, that their initial idea of coming was to perform jagnas for material gain and ultimately to enter the heavens and like that, with the karma kanda spirit. So he says here, that is indeed surprising that you have changed your purpose. But we also discussed that coming in contact with the pure Vaishnava, the pure devotee, our intention may be one thing, even when we come to Krishna consciousness, but gaining the right association, our consciousness becomes awakened to the actual reality of why Krishna brought us here, why Krishna brought us in contact with this particular spiritual master or Vaishnava. So you have come with one purpose, but now it is surprising. Oh, you have developed great enthusiasm for wanting to hear about the glories of Krishna. The reality is due to their association with Suta Goswami. Please understand that our interest in sacrifice has now become only a show, they say. Now it is only, there's no real substance. A show means there's no real substance here. The substance is in hearing about Krishna. And so we have awakened that desire due to your association to hear about Krishna and give up the show of jagna and so forth for material gain. Having obtained this opportunity of coming in contact with you, it brings us great joy now to hear about Krishna. They go on to say, we desire to cross the insurmountable ocean of Kali, the destroyer of all good qualities. Like the pilot of a ship, you have appeared before us by the grace of the Lord to guide us over this great ocean, the ocean of samsara, the ocean of birth and death. So now they express themselves. We desire to cross over this great ocean, insurmountable ocean. But we're taking shelter of you because you're a pilot of the ship that can take us across. And that is the hearing of the Bhagavatam can take us through the darkness of Kali Yuga and bring us to the light of Shri Krishna Lok, Vrindavan, like that. So by the grace of the Lord, you have appeared in our life to guide us over this ocean. Please, therefore, tell us where Dharma has taken shelter now that Krishna, the master of all yogas, devoted to the righteous and the protector of Dharma, has entered his abode. What is the Dharma of the age? Krishna has left. Every age has their particular Dharma. But now Krishna has left. So we're in a new era, the era of Kali Yuga. So where is Dharma to be found? We know ultimately that Vaishnava Dharma centers around hearing and chanting about the Lord. The Bhagavatam gives us the opportunity to hear about the Lord and chant his glories, along with his mantras and seeing his wonderful form. So they're inquiring, where has Dharma taken shelter now that we're in the darkness of Kali Yuga? We want to know where we can find light in this darkened age. Commentary. Krishna is the protector of Dharma, acting like the armor for Dharma. He protects Dharma. Yogeshwara indicates Krishna's great powers. Brahmanye, he is devoted to the righteous, which is his merciful nature. So Krishna, who is always merciful and especially devoted to the righteous, must have left us something. He hasn't abandoned us. So in the Kali Yuga, where do we find the shelter of Krishna? Certainly he hasn't abandoned us. Krishna is always there for the righteous. So where can we find Krishna in this darkened age? And what are the activities to be done to achieve Krishna Dharma? According to the Amara Kosh, Kashta means excellence, continuous condition or direction. And Maryada means righteousness or the continuous condition. That Krishna is giving us this righteous path to achieve the highest righteous goal. But we need clarity where we will find that. That abode became invisible to the worldly people after 120 years after his appearance. Krishna appeared and lived upon the earth for 120 years. So now that Krishna is gone, where do we find light? Here's a summary of the chapter. There have been 6 questions that the sages have asked. They're asking that, please explain what is the most beneficial thing for humanity. First thing they want to know. What is the highest benefit that mankind can achieve and how to achieve it in this darkened age? Tell us, we who have faith, the essence of all scriptures by which the intellect can become pleased. We are curious, but we want to understand the essence of all scriptures. There are so many scriptures, and they can be divided also into the mode of goodness, the mode of passion, the mode of ignorance. There are many shastras. But where can we find the essence of the highest teachings? That we want to know. Third, you should tell us, who have a desire to hear, what was the purpose of Krishna's appearance as he appeared from the womb of Devaki? We want to know, what was the real purpose for Krishna's descent? Fourth, describe the pastimes of Krishna, who has all the avatars within him. Krishna is the avatari. He is the source of all avatars. We want to know about Krishna, who is the source of all the avatars. Please describe the pastimes of Krishna, especially as he enacted them upon this earth. Also, describe the stories of all his avatars. We are eager to hear about all the forms of the Lord and the exchanges that Krishna shows with his devotees and with the demons and so forth. We want to know about all the avatars. So please describe the stories of the avatars of Krishna. And lastly, number 6, tell us the shelter of Dharma. Where is the shelter? Where has Dharma taken shelter? Dharma has to be found somewhere. Where is that shelter where Dharma has taken now that Krishna has departed? Where will we find that Dharma? We want to know that. These are the 6 questions that were actually asked within this first chapter. It should be understood that the answers to these 6 questions, along with some related matters, constitutes this Bhagavatam. So these 6 questions outline the whole subject matter of the Bhagavatam. And here, chapter 1 concludes. Thus ends the commentary of the first chapter of the first canto of the Bhagavatam, written by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, for the pleasure of the devotees, in accordance with the previous acharyas. He expresses, I have taken on this undertaking to please the devotees. That is my concern, how to serve the Vaishnavas. And I think I can do so because I have been inspired to write this commentary for their pleasure. But I will do so also in accordance with the previous acharyas. I won't deviate. I will follow in the line of the acharyas, but explain it in an easily understandable way which gives pleasure to the devotees' hearts. Here we conclude this chapter 1, which had the introductory first 3 verses and so forth, describing why the Bhagavatam. The chapter is actually called The Question of the Sages at Naimisharanya. So these are the questions of the sages of Naimisharanya. Chapter 2, which will begin next week, The Stages of Bhakti, chapter 2. Jai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol, Jai Shri Shri Radhe Shyam.